I hold the power now.
Where on a Kiwi and Leander?
Wouldn't you love to know? You messed with the wrong person, Frank!
All right, viewers in the past week saw popular SABC3 soapy Isiding pull the plug on yet another long-time character, and that being Frank Xavier. This comes after a decade since his first appearance, and that was all the way back in 2005. Frank was declared brain dead in the soapy. Well, this morning we chat to Kevin Smith. I hate to say it, but better known as Frank Xavier to his fans, about his journey on the show and what lies ahead for him. It's so good to see you.
Oh, thank you very much. And pulled the plug, literally, that's what happened. They pulled the plug, they said, that's it, pulled the plug, that's gone.
I mean, I went to, for goodness sakes, I went to your, we were praying for your speedy recovery. I was there.
Yeah.
And clearly,
the prayers just didn't get
That didn't work. Hey? And here you are, though. Actually, I prayed really hard because I'm getting to talk to you more, what people can't actually do.
Yeah.
But how are you doing? I mean, how do you feel having officially been buried and left the show?
It's been the toughest thing for me to do. When you spend 10 years in a show, you spend time with the family, you spend time with people, you see the changes, you go through all of that. It's part of your life. It's your family. And coming to an end, I think it was devastating. Yeah. I really felt like the rug had been pulled out from under me. And then to top it all, I was involved in a motorcycle accident just as soon as I'd made the decision to go. So that made it even more difficult. So I've had one thing on top of the other, which has just really shifted my life and my way of thinking completely. It's just turned it all around.
Yeah, I can absolutely imagine. I mean, because you had decided to leave the soapy a while back, and you wanted to come back as in the capacity of a director.
Correct.
Is this still going to happen?
I have directed one block for Isiding. In fact, I directed with the leg which was in plaster, and we have studios which are quite far apart from each other. So the way that I would get from the box where the control room was to the studio and then back again was on a little scooter. I'd scoot myself around the lot from the studio back to the box and then back to the studio to do the directing. So that has been quite a bit of a challenge. Journey.
I can imagine. Perhaps now you can actually just stay in the box. You don't have to go all the way around now and actually direct at the same time. But this accident, I mean, it's really had a major impact on everything about you.
Yeah,
How are you feeling in terms of your fitness and
look,
what it's done for you?
I think that people, it has given me a realization about what it means to be disabled in this country. Suddenly you have the understanding of the lack of facilities that there are for people who are disabled. Parking spaces, access, facilities, that kind of walk, all of those things. So it really has shifted my mindset in quite a significant way. It's made me look at things very differently. It's made me understand things very differently. It's forced me into a place where I need to have patience with the world around me. And I think we're living in a country, probably living in a world where things are happening so quickly. And I find myself having to struggle to get from one place to the next. Walking down the corridor takes me that much longer than it takes an able-bodied person. So it really gives you that idea of you need to learn to be patient. And I think maybe that's something we all need to learn to do.
I mean, maybe if in a strange, bizarre way, we know that things are meant to happen in our lives. It's a horrible way of looking at it, but they are. There's certain things that are written out for us, and maybe it's a role you need to adopt and need to take up and actually speak out about these facilities and the way South Africa treats disabled people, and that it's not right.
Correct. I think that certainly changed my mindset in the way that I need to engage with the world. So you need to engage with the world in a different way, and you need to have that discussion, because I think we need to open ourselves up to the fact that change needs to happen on so many different levels. And sometimes we become so obsessed with yourself. There's a selfishness that comes along with it. And I think I might be guilty of that. But what this has done is it's opened that up for me completely. I can't live in just a self-engrossed world. I have to live in a world where we need to engage with people. And I think that's the discussion that we need to have. We need to engage with people with disabilities and say, how can we make this the same for each other, and how can we level that playing field? Because I'll tell you something, it really puts you back quite substantially
Yeah.
when you have to deal with any kind of disability.
No, it certainly does, and I'm so glad that you're speaking out about this. Have you had closure on the accident? Has that case been put to rest?
No, it hasn't
Still
been put
not?
to rest. It's still hanging
pending.
in the balance. It's still pending.
Yeah. Goodness me, I can imagine it's a difficult adjustment in your life. But in terms of you leaving the show, though, I know the decision was made before, and I keep emphasizing this. But is it? Do you feel that you're happier now?
I don't know. Sometimes I feel I made a mistake.
Oh, do you?
Sometimes I felt, I'd really like to go back to what I know, because it was a familiar space. It was a space where I was comfortable. It was a space where I knew it. I knew the people. I knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
So, but that was the other thing. I was in the comfort zone.
That's
and I
it.
think what this has done is it pushed me right out of this. And again, that idea of having to change the way that you think, having to change the way that you engage, it's put me in a completely uncomfortable place, and I need to restart my life. So I'm in that place of having to restart everything.
It's like a rebirth.
It
I
is a
always say
rebirth.
a comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing ever grows there.
Correct.
So it's time for you to grow. It really is. And to grow Kevin Smith and to leave Frank Xavier, which is nice because you now become yourself again.
Yeah, it's a huge challenge. It's a huge challenge to be able to re-engage yourself, but it's also a privilege.
Yeah.
I think it's a fantastic thing to be able to have that space and that opportunity. So I need to see this in terms of an opportunity to do something more. I don't know what it is yet.
Yeah.
I don't know why this has happened yet, but the opportunity is there to change. So that's what I'm thinking of, is really embracing the change.
That's amazing. Well, listen, we wish you the best of luck, and you keep updated with us and let us know who and what Kevin Smith is doing in the future.
Leanne, also what's important for me is I'd really like to say thank you to those people who have been watching the show regularly and have been loyal to me and that have been there and have supported me. That's the biggest thing that I've come away from, is knowing that those people are out there and supporting and loving, and I wish them to continue to watch the show because I think it's something that is worthwhile watching.
It is very worthwhile watching, and also very worthwhile watching what you do next, because you're great at what you do, and never forget that.
Cool, thanks so much.
Thank you so much, Kevin
Thank
Smith,
you.
for being with
Appreciate
us
it.
here on the program. Frank Xavier, who is no longer a part of Isiding, although a lot of viewers out there don't believe it. They don't believe. They think there's going to be a resurrection. And that can happen in a soap. It can't happen on this TV, but on soapies it can. Let's take a break.
Sure.